So hello dear Pharma College students. So last time we have seen the introductory part of nutrition, and also we have started to see the macro and micronutrients. So last time we have seen a macronutrient which is called protein. So because it will make it bigger for you to download it too. So we have classified into three parts. So today we will see the other macronutrient, that is carbohydrate. So carbohydrates, they are organic molecules that are made up of the element carbon, oxygen and hydrogen. So as the name indicates, carbohydrate means it's a hydrate of carbon because it has an H2O molecule in its chemical structure. So carbohydrates can be classified depending on the carbon atoms, that is on the structure of the carbohydrate. So the simple classification of carbohydrates that are important in nutrition is based on the number of single carbon, hydrogen, oxygen molecule found in each chemical structure. So monosaccharides, they have one carbon, hydrogen, oxygen molecule in its chemical structure. So the glucose, the fructose and the galactose are a good example of monosaccharides, and in the disaccharides they have two carbon, hydrogen, oxygen molecule in its chemical structure. The maltose, the lactose, the sucrose are a good example of disaccharides. So the lactose it has two monosaccharides in it, that is a glucose, one glucose and one galactose, and maltose it has two glucose molecules, okay, glucose plus glucose. And the sucrose, it has one glucose molecule and one fructose molecule in it. So that the food source of this free sugars, so the monosaccharides and the disaccharides are termed as free sugars. So the food source are the fruit, the vegetables, soft drinks, honey and so on contain this carbohydrate, okay, this carbohydrates. Yeah, the second one is the oligosaccharides. They contain 3 to 10 monosaccharide units in their chemical structure. So the raffinose, the starchose, the verbascose, the fructans, the galactans, they are a good example of oligosaccharides. And the third one is the polysaccharides. They are termed as a complex carbohydrates because they have many monosaccharides in their chemical structures, okay, in their chemical structure. The most common are the starch, the glycogen and the fiber. And starch contains only glucose molecules in it, and they are stored in plant cells, and they are the most abundant form of carbohydrates because they are the main end product of the process of photosynthesis, okay. And the glycogen, they contain only glucose, and they are found in meat of animals. So once the animal is slaughtered, so they will be hydrolyzed. So glycogen will be hydrolyzed within a few hours, except in oysters and lobsters, okay. So it's not the commonest type of carbohydrate that we get from food. Glycogen is not the commonest type of carbohydrate that we get from food, but it's a good form of energy storage in the body. So fiber, they are the structural part of plants, and they contain variety of monosaccharides and other carbohydrate derivatives, and they cannot be broken down during digestion. Therefore they will help in excretion of waste materials from the body. So we have to get fibers in our diet. And when we come to the functions of the carbs, so they provide energy of 4 kilocalorie per gram as of the proteins. So the simplest carbohydrate, that is the mono and the disaccharides, are the quick forms of energy, or they are a quick energy sources. They store energy in the form of starch or glycogen, and they spare the use of proteins for energy. Okay, they will spare the use of energy for because they are the direct source of energy for the human being. Okay, and they supply carbon for synthesis of other compounds. They promote the growth of desirable bacteria in the intestine. The insoluble fiber makes the elimination of waste much easier, and also the soluble fibers reduce blood cholesterol and glucose levels. Okay, glucose levels. So when we see the sources, the simple carbohydrates can be found from table sugar, sweet fruits, sweet vegetables, honey, milk, soft drinks, and other sweets. The complex carbohydrates can be found from all cereals and legumes, and also vegetables. And fibers can be gained from the whole grain foods, okay, whole grain seeds, and whole vegetables and fruits. And especially we should avoid peeling off the skin of seeds while we are eating them, because we are getting rid of the fibers. But fiber will provide the bulk in the food, and also they will help in the elimination of waste materials from the body. Therefore we need fibers in our diet, so that we will get rid of different diseases, okay, like arterial problems. Okay, we will get rid of arterial plaques that will make circulation harder. So the deficiency states of carbohydrates may bring fatigue and hypoglycemia sometimes. So if there is a very long starvation, this may happen. So, and also marasmus in children may happen due to lack of the carbs. Okay, due to the lack of the carbs. So when we come to the carbohydrate digestion and absorption, so the carbohydrates start breaking down in the mouth. So the enzyme salivary amylase is responsible for breaking up the starch, reducing to smaller glucose molecules. So in the small intestine, the pancreas releases the enzyme pancreatic amylase to help in the completion of the hydrolysis of starch into smaller glucose molecules, that is the monosaccharides. So the monosaccharides are absorbed into the small intestine, and they will be delivered to the liver by the hepatic portal vein way out of the proteins. So after the liver processes the nutrients, the nutrients enter into the bloodstream. So they will circulate throughout the body, and they will give the function of supplying an energy. Okay, an energy. So sometimes there will be a digestion problem, like lactose intolerance. So this is lactose intolerance is an inherited or an acquired defect resulting in inadequate secretion of the enzyme lactase. Lactase. So this is an enzyme that will break lactose into simple sugar. So if one has a deficiency state of this enzyme, the undigested lactose produces symptoms including abdominal pain, diarrhea, and flatulence. And also this intolerance may begin as early of life. So some people will have a difficulty of drinking milk because of lactose intolerance. Okay, so this is all about the digestion and absorption of the carbohydrates. So the recommended daily dietary intake of carbohydrate is, there is no fixed amount recommended for daily intake of these carbohydrates, but one should be provided with 60 to 70% of the total energy from carbohydrates. So the daily diet of an adult should also contain at least 40 grams of fiber. Okay, fiber, because we have seen earlier the different functions of fiber. We need fiber in the diet. in our diet. So here is the estimated calorie needs per day of an individual. So people who are living a sedentary way of life and people who are living an active lifestyle should not be having the same calorie intake per day. So those people who are living a sedentary lifestyle may need a very lesser amount of calorie per day, and those who are very active should have a higher calorie intake. So here is a table with a different lifestyle and a different age group requiring a different calorie intake per day. So those people who are living sedentary way of life, that means those people who are not having much exercises like walking miles or having a physical exercise, should have a lesser calorie intake. For example, those people who live sedentary way of life and whose age are above 15 should have 2,400 calorie need per day, whereas those people who are active within the same age should have 2,800 calorie intake per day. So when we say active, it is equivalent to walking more than 3 miles per day at 3 to 4 miles per hour speed. So when we say moderate, it is walking about 1.5 to 3 miles per day at 3 to 4 miles per hour speed. Okay, so those people should have a different calorie intake according to their physical exercise. Okay, according to physical exercise. So one should choose an active or a moderate lifestyle rather than a sedentary way of life, because this will lead to a different nutritional problems like obesity. Therefore, one should avoid a sedentary lifestyle. So this is all about the carbohydrates. I'm recommending you to read the Word document that I have sent you in your Telegram account. So next time we will see the other part that is the fat and the mineral and vitamin session. So for now, that's enough, and thank you. Stay safe.